G'day everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be going through the next tips video for the beginner tips series. Beginners, last video was Latin America and this one will be North America. So US, Canada, Greenland, Bermuda, and St. Pierre and Miquelon. So let's begin. In the USA, how do I know? Well, the most famous tip I think most of you probably even know, but the speed limit signs in the USA will say speed limit instead of maximum as I would say in Canada. The number also here is in miles per hour instead of kilometers an hour, as you can see right here. The US only sign, you never see that in Canada. Also this sign here, this one-way sign, this is the same for no entry signs and like yield signs. If you have the words like one way written there, that's a more American thing to do than a Canadian thing. Usually in Canada, it would just instead same for no entry signs and yield signs. Some general good tips for North America include like short plates, and like fire hydrants and things like that. But yeah, that's probably all I've got to say about that one. Another US location I'm going to show you here is this one. So again, speed limit sign, only going to be US. Top half, this one's only going to be found in the US. The Canadian one's a bit different. It's white and got like an orange ring next to it, like attached to it. So that's there. Good there. This is Gen 4 coverage, which is found in US and Canada. Stop signs, so US and Canada can both have these sort of stop signs that just say stop, but in Canada they can have some other ones as well, but this one can still be found in both countries. Also, yeah, the poles are pretty generic here. These pole tops just don't look anything special to me, just look pretty North American as I would say. Yep, slot 2. Next one, another US location here actually. So if we load in here, first thing I notice here is we have double yellow lines like this. This is a way more American thing to do because in Canada they would often have a single yellow line. So, but it's not 100% of the time, you can't rely on this all the time. Canada can have double yellows, US can have single yellows, so, but I'd say more of the time US has double and Canada has single. That's what I probably would say there. Some other good tips I'd say around here is exactly have the words, it would just be a circle with a line. If we move over back here, just move back over here if it'll allow me to move, and again. My thing is that like the US, you know, they combine with states, whereas in Canada they have provinces and territories. But here in the US, as we have here, just let it load. They have interstate signs, which is like these blue ones with red strips on top. This is only going to be a US thing, never going to see those in Canada. And yeah, that's probably what I've got to say about this round. This is just, look, you've just got some good clues that this is the US and not in Canada. That's US done, so let's move on to Canada. Let's go to, not this one actually, let's go to this one here. So in this location, we have, first thing, we have Generation 2 camera. So this is like circle on the car, circle on top of the car. That's how you recognize Gen 2, lower quality camera. Other than the US. US is pretty rare to have Gen 2, but not impossible. Canada has way more Gen 2 than the US. But again, Canada can have little bits of Gen 1 and US has more of it, so it's not 100% of the time, but usually if you see Gen 2, you're more likely to be in Canada, and if you see Gen 1, you're more likely. But my point is here for Canada is if you see this checkerboard like end of road sign with the arrows pointing both ways, this is a Canada only sign. You're never going to see this sign in the US. The US one's a bit different. It won't have this checkerboard thing. It will just have this sign here and will obviously be bigger. But yeah, that's what I'd say about that one. Also, as I said, Canada uses a single yellow line, which we have here. But as you can see here, these road lines are also commonly found in both countries, US and Canada. It's like the single one, US and Canada. Let's go to this location, also in Canada. And in this one, again, Generation 2 camera. These road lines, like these just dash ones, are both found in US and Canada, pretty commonly in both. The unpaved roads are more of a Canadian thing than in the US, but of course US can have unpaved roads as well, just a bit more of a Canadian thing. And of course Gen 2, as we heard before, more of a Canadian thing. Wooden signposts, another not a tip but more of a Canadian thing. So as you can see, most of these tips aren't 100% of the time, but more likely if you see wooden sign Canada, but the US, as we know, can have them, but more usually in Canada, more with them. And yeah, that's probably all I've got to say about this location. And another location we have here in Canada is this one. So this one I probably just want to show the speed limit signs. As I was saying before, in in the US they say speed limit. In Canada they say minimum, and the number here is in kilometers per hour instead of miles per hour, which would make sense here to be traveling at 50 kilometers per hour, not 50 miles per hour. So yep, so I've got to say about this one as well. And the last location in Canada, as I said before, Canada and US can just use stop on their stop signs, but if you're in a North American looking around and you see arrêt, I think that's how you say this, arrêt on a stop sign, this is French for stop, and this is only going to be in Canada, more specifically in Quebec, the French speaking part of Canada. Also they use French Street, and yeah, so Quebec is this province here. In New Brunswick, which is this province here, they use stop and arrêt on their stop signs because they're a bilingual province, they use both. But the point is here, if you see like arrêt on a stop sign, you're going to be in Canada, you're never ever going to be in the US. So yep. So next up we'll go to, so we've done US, Canada, let's go to maybe, so Greenland is quite a recognizable place these days, excuse me, due to the fact we got these kind of cold hills in the background, as these rocky kind of cold hills. Architecture very like wooden and colourful. This is just a very Greenlandic architecture. License plates like just along with no blue strip on the left side. There'll be some Danish and Greenlandic language. So this is like a Danish crossing sign. It's a bit of Danish influence here and there. The thing I wanted to say here is this Google car. It's silver and it has these side mirrors visible. This Google car is only found in Nuuk, the capital city of Greenland. And if you notice about Greenland, there's no coverage in the middle. It's all just in like just towns on the west and east coast. And they've all got their little metas you can use to learn each one. But here in the beginners, I'll just teach you about Nuuk. And this is the car you find in the capital city, Nuuk, which is just down here. So yep, that's all I got to say about that. And then we'll go to Bermuda. So Bermuda is a British overseas territory. They drive on the left side. They got the side mirrors. It's black Google car, yellow middle line. That's another good clue that you're going to be in Bermuda. License plates are kind of plain. But this Google car is probably the best thing I'd say about Bermuda. Also very tropical place, like lots of palms and that. And often you can see the ocean here. The color is very, very distinct. It's like this light kind of blue color. So yeah. And yeah, that's probably all I've got to say about Bermuda. Very recognizable place. Once you see it a couple of times, you're golden. And the last place here is this little territory off Newfoundland, Canada. It's called Saint Pierre and Miquelon. I think it's how you say it in French. It's this territory here. I was only a bit of trekker coverage there. It's pretty rare to get this, but I was just letting you know, like Martinique in the last video. So it's very barren landscape. Looks a little bit like Greenland, kind of a green version of Greenland. The architecture looks quite Greenlandic, or even just like East Canadian. But everything will be a bit French, like you'll see some French flag like over there, a bit of French language obviously, because it's a French territory. The place will sort of be short, like in the Americas, but they'll still have the blue strip sort of on the left side there, as you can see. And you have some yellow back plates, which is what the old French plates are. They're yellow on the back. And yeah, it's just trekker coverage on the side of the road, this pinkish kind of soil and tarmac road. And yeah, that's probably all I've got to say about this one. So thank you so much guys for watching all the way to the end. Please leave a like down below. Subscribe if you want to see the next continent in this series, which will probably be Europe, I think. And yeah, I'll catch you guys when we have that video out. Goodbye.